Coming up, we find out how the Build Back Better Act could lower the cost of prescription drugs.
The U.S. Census Bureau reports the home ownership rate for Black Arizonans is 30 points lower than the state's average. Coming up, what one group is doing to combat the inequality.
And later on Break It Down, how COVID has affected those incarcerated.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Sean DePaz.
And I'm Diana Quintero. Thank you for joining us. We're learning more about the Build Back Better bill, especially the impact it could have on prescription drugs. Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego hosted a press conference today in Phoenix to explain the details. One provision in the bill would require drug companies to pay rebates to Medicare if they increase prices above the rate of inflation. U.S. drug companies are lobbying to strip that out, especially if the protection is provided to those with private insurance as well. Gallego says the measure will help American families.
Insulin's going to get capped at $35 per vial. If you are a Medicare, we're going to cover your hearing and your vision plan. If you're anybody that has any insurance, your premiums are going to go down. And as a senior, you will not pay more than $2,000 per year for your prescriptions.
After the passage of the bill, Republican Congressman Andy Biggs put out a statement that reads in part, quote, "Passing legislation like Biden's Build Back Better Act is the very reason why Americans have lost faith in Congress." Pelosi and the far left continue to prove they are willing to sacrifice American prosperity for personal power gains. We reached out to Biggs' office today for reaction to the prescription drug proposals in the bill, but did not receive a response before our deadline.
COVID-19 case numbers in Arizona are continuing to rise. And with the holiday season starting this week, Arizona physicians are urging parents to get their kids vaccinated. In October, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorized the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use for children ages 5 to 11. And according to the Committee to Protect Health Care, Arizona is lagging behind other states in getting kids vaccinated. The national vaccination rate for children ages 5 to 11 is around 10%, while here in Arizona, it's only around 6%. Dr. Kara Guerin stresses that the resurgence of the virus around the holiday season means families need to remain vigilant.
We can and must do better. We urge parents to talk to their children's doctors about being vaccinated. The Arizona Department of Health Services offers a vaccine finder on its website. COVID-19 vaccines for children are also available at local pharmacies. COVID-19 is a preventable disease, and we have the power to take safe, effective steps that can protect ourselves, our loved ones, and everyone around us.
With over 50 million Americans expected to travel this Thanksgiving weekend, healthcare workers are wary of a spike in COVID-19 cases. They want to remind travelers to be safe, protect yourself and those you are seeing over the holidays.
With the holiday season approaching, staying safe behind the wheel is a top priority. Cronkite News reporter Bella Hoffman explains how planning ahead can save lives.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving, also known as MAD, celebrated its 35th anniversary of the Taiwan On for Safety holiday campaign to remind everyone to never drink and drive. In 2020, 181 people died in alcohol-related crashes in Arizona, and over 2,000 were injured, according to the Arizona Department of Transportation. Preventing drunk drivers from getting behind the wheel is especially important to Alex Oddie, who is the national president of MAD. She says she was 13 when a drunk boat driver nearly killed her.
I sustained life-threatening and lifelong injuries from head to toe. I spent many weeks in the ICU, 6 weeks in a neck brace, several months in a wheelchair, and to no fault of my own, this was my new life.
The Taiwan On for Safety campaign encourages drivers to place red ribbons on their car as a reminder to always designate a non-drinking driver. Waymo operates a commercial self-driving taxi service in the greater Phoenix area, and this is their 4th year sponsoring this campaign.
We didn't have this technology. You know, we didn't have a phone that you could open up an app and, get a ride.
14 years ago, Jennifer Thompson said her daughter was killed by 2 impaired drivers on opening day of the Salt River here in Arizona. Both Thompson and Audie encourage everyone to plan ahead before celebrating the holidays.
We want people to enjoy the holiday season, especially after the last 18 months. It's been really hard, and so we want people to be able to spend time with their families and friends and enjoy that holiday season, but do so in a way that makes sure we all get to go home at night and we all get to go home in one piece, because I didn't.
That message is especially important as holiday travel, parties, and family gatherings put more people on the roads. In the newsroom, Bella Hoffman, Cronkite News.
Black Arizonans have the lowest homeowner percentage by race and are far below the national average. After the break, what one organization is doing to bring about change.
Cronkite News is more than your local news station. Through our innovative ideas, we create new ways to connect with our viewers and have their stories be heard. Our cutting-edge technology allows us to take a deeper dive into seeking the truth and delivering new perspectives. Stay up to date on top Arizona stories anytime on TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Cronkite News.
It's prime time on your time. Watch Prime Afternoons every weekday on Arizona PBS. Did you miss a show in the evening? Then catch up on Prime Afternoons, your favorite dramas.
No more bloody heroics.
Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
Nature and Nova.
It's time to reintroduce some wonder into this miracle of nature.
All of the best from PBS on Prime Afternoons. Weekdays starting at 1:30, only on Arizona PBS.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
The housing market in Arizona is booming, but one demographic is still far behind. Black Arizonans have the lowest homeowner percentage by race and are far below the national average. Cronkite News reporter Lauren Quinlan tells us this is just one finding from a Phoenix-based nonprofit organization that is pushing for change in their latest report.
The State of Black Arizona, or SBAZ, released a Volume 5 report that focuses on 5 major issues that highlight inequality, which includes education, the economy, and infrastructure. Homeownership is one area where they saw drastic differences.
African Americans, even with a lot of policy pieces that have been put in place, like the Fair Housing Act, that hasn't changed some of the issues around redlining and housing discrimination.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the homeownership rate for Black Arizonans is 34%, compared to that of the state's average, which is 64%. Wante Daly has been a homeowner in Arizona for almost 20 years and has a unique perspective.
There's systemic racism in certain areas, but the fact that it's not acknowledged in a lot of those areas, and home ownership is one of those areas. It's like, how do you change that right now when you have, certain people that design the system? Because where are you going to go back and change their minds? Because this is something that has been ingrained for years.
According to Taniqua Broughton with the SBAZ, one solution is to create a Black-owned bank in Arizona.
We just started our first CDFI. So Foresight Foundation is in that role where it has an African American woman who is taking the lead. And they are really working to make sure that we have a community financial, investment.
The report also recommends that elected leaders should invest in increasing state pathways to homeownership through counseling, sound lending, and more.
this is my house. And again, it goes back to generations. If I want to, I can give this house to my son. So it's like you have these options that you have if you wouldn't, if you're just renting. And so it's kind of like you have leverage. So a home ownership is leverage in other areas of your life.
The state of Black Arizona urges policymakers and community leaders to focus on the issues outlined in their report, because if not, they believe these housing inequities will only grow. In Phoenix, Lauren Quinlan, Cronkite News.
State of Black Arizona believes Black home ownership is more than just owning a home. It's a pathway for building generational wealth and financial security.
If you'll be here in the Valley for the holiday weekend, you can expect some pretty nice weather. Nick SCHESKE is in the Weather Center with a Thanksgiving forecast.
Yeah, so we're finally in Thanksgiving week here, a week of football and feasting and some rain here in the continental U.S. as we'll check out here. We'll kind of see it cascading down the Midwest here later this week. Cities like Nashville and Cincinnati can expect quite a bit of rain. And if my eyes don't deceive me, if we zoom in on Arizona here, even some rain here in Arizona across the central state earlier, and then in the lower state here in Tucson and Sierra Vista coming later this week. And now those temperatures across the state, they're going to be pretty cool tomorrow. 74 here in Phoenix, 59 up in Sedona, all the way as cold as 48 up in Flagstaff. Now, if we look at our evening planner, sticking with that rainy theme, we got a small chance of rain tonight with some clouds in the sky, going to kind of cool us down to these mid-60s here later this evening. And those clouds are going to stick around for tomorrow. We're going to have a pretty cloudy Wednesday. It's going to be 74 degrees, but they'll go away for Thanksgiving here on Thursday, and we'll have a sunny 78 degrees Thanksgiving. And those mid-70s temperatures are going to stick around for the rest of the week. We'll have some clouds in the sky and a nice 76 degrees temperature for the big Arizona State football game this Saturday. So in the Weather Center, Nick SCHESKE, Cronkite News.
I'm Cam Dyer. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. A former UARIZONA and NFL star opens up about his struggles with substance abuse and why it's important for others to share their experiences as well.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
I was so excited when I learned that I was going to be the next moderator of Washington Week. I was incredibly lucky to be mentored by Gwen Ifill, and what that gave to me was this confidence that I could be my full self and that I was deserving of whatever spaces I was in.
Welcome to Washington Week.
I also feel this great joy in taking the helm of Washington Week, knowing that I can mold it and make it my own, but also make sure that it is still within the legacy and the tradition that made it so great for all of these years.
Welcome back. I'm Cam Dyer, and here's your Cronkite Sports Report. The Red Hot Suns continued their win streak last night to lucky number 13 in a row. They defeated the San Antonio Spurs 115-111 on Monday night. Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton combined for 44 points, and the Suns look strong offensively, shooting 51% from the field. Their blistering winning streak is currently the longest in the league, but as DeAndre Ayton states, this team is in it for the long haul.
You know, I'm glad we have a swag and a mentality where, you know, we just winning games, working on us. Not trying to just go out here and just beat teams, but we're working on something way bigger than what the league is thinking.
Now to a former Wildcat football star who is trying to help people with addiction. According to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, of the 21 million Americans who suffer from substance abuse, only 11% get treated. Cronkite News reporter Jackson Coppinger has the story on how this former player is looking to change that statistic.
It's not easy to open up about addiction, but former University of Arizona football standout Vance Johnson is trying to put an end to that narrative.
What I promised God is I was going to go out for the rest of my life and just offer hope by my transparency, being transformation, and letting people know that I'm here to break stigma.
In an effort to help others, the 58-year-old travels the country now speaking about his past struggles with substance abuse. Johnson says more needs to be done to prevent and treat high school and college-age students who are going down the same path he did.
What I think we need to start doing is just really getting the word out there to the parents and also to the community so that we'll start getting more resources to be able to offer support for these kids that are suffering.
Dr. Susan Hadley of the University of Arizona Tucson Addiction Medicine Fellowship says medical support for people suffering from substance abuse is steadily improving and is confident their program and ones like it will better help people struggling from addiction.
One of the reasons for us starting to have addiction medicine fellowships available so that we can do more training of more physicians who are able to provide the kind of treatment that people need.
Although the medical field is taking strides in providing more resources, the former Denver Broncos star feels it's the responsibility of other celebrities like him to be more open about their experiences with substance abuse.
A lot of former athletes or different types of actors, actresses who have dealt with any type of issues with their addictions need to be transparent and be willing to go to these colleges and these high schools to just really talk about the problems that are real.
Johnson continues to thrive in his sobriety and travel the country to shed light on real issues affecting our communities. In Tucson, Jackson Coppinger, Cronkite News.
The Health Resources and Service Administration awarded the Addiction Medicine Fellowship a 5-year, $1.4 million federal grant last year to further assist people suffering from addiction. And that does it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Sean and Diana.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.